When the media decided to try to whitewash the WNBA by propping Caitlin Clark up as the greatest thing to ever happen to women's basketball, they decided they were betting on the right horse. Caitlin Clark was the great white hope. That's what they wanted. They wanted a straight white woman to be the face of a league that was built by black women. And the reality is a lot of us have clocked Caitlin Clark from the beginning. She's just unlikable. She's pouty. She has an attitude problem. She's not super likable, and that's okay. There are a lot of superstars who are unlikable, but the media they've tried to turn her into something she's not. This is a choice. It is a choice that she made to go out there with Morgan Wallen, to align her fan bases with Morgan Wallen's. They both tried to sort of walk back their more MAGA entrenched branding. They've tried that. Their fans make sure that everybody knows where they stand. And when you don't repeatedly state where you stand and you allow people to assume, then we're going to assume. And this is a statement about being white middle America. I'm seeing people all over the internet try to tell me that this is just extraordinary flopping. Do you think that's egregious flopping? That was slight embellishment on a clear shoulder check. She's entitled, she's pouty, she gives Karen vibes, and no matter how much anybody in the media or anybody in the sort of casual fandom tries to make us believe that this is not the case, the only reason she was ever pushed as this type of face of the WNBA was to undermine the black women and the queer women who built it and who still sustain it and who are still the real stars of it. And Caitlin Clark knows it now. She knows it and she has known it. She's seen her fans. She's seen how the media talks. She's seen her name be put above people she has no business being put above. She's seen her name in conversations with people she has no business being in conversations with. She has zero fucking self-awareness, or she knows exactly what she's doing. You either get some self-awareness, grow some balls, and tell your fans and the media exactly who you are, if it's not who we think you are, or you do what she's been doing and double and triple down on your entitlement. The media wanted their Larry Bird, but what they forgot was there was no Larry Bird without Magic Johnson. There was no Larry Bird without Larry Bird understanding who built that league into what it was. There was no Larry Bird without Larry Bird understanding that he wanted to be compared to the black players. He wanted to rise to the level of his black peers. My favorite thing about Caitlin Clark is the beautiful irony that the media propping her up to be this white savior of the WNBA only made those black women, those queer women more famous, made them more money. That's what the media did. The media really thought they could play that game and undermine a whole league of women who were always eventually going to outshine her, who were always eventually going to rise above everything that everybody was saying about the league. Yes, thank you for the attention, Caitlin Clark. I love that. Now, a bunch of these women got paid. The women who actually deserve their attention are getting their attention. And you're still trying to sell us that Caitlin Clark is somebody that she's not.
Don't like me? Good. That's a you problem, not mine. I don't give a fuck. Not one, not two. Your mouth ain't written no room in my...
This is one of the most unhinged takes I've seen regarding Caitlin Clark and Alyssa Thomas. So if you don't know about the play, there was a scramble for the ball on the ground. Alyssa Thomas was going for the ball, had her fist on Caitlin Clark's shoulder, it slid down and it did go to her throat. I would have no problem assessing a foul, and I don't really have a problem assessing the flagrant and suspending her one game. This, a fist to the throat, this play was not her punching Caitlin Clark in the fucking throat. Give me a fucking break. But the truly unhinged part is calling Caitlin Clark the most famous, marketable, and important women's pro sports team athlete in history. This does dismiss a lot of great WNBA players over the years, but since it's the World Cup, how are you missing the women's national team? How are you missing Megan Rapinoe? How are you dismissing Alex Morgan? How are you dismissing Mia Hamm? The women's national team also fought for equal fucking pay and won. You want to talk about important? Women's national team has 4 World Cup titles. The men's national team has 0. 0. The women's national team also has 5 gold medals. When you say stupid shit like this, because people around the world don't know who fucking Caitlin Clark is, get fucking real. I am so sick and tired of these people that don't even watch basketball, don't know the WNBA, thinking about her being the great white hope. She's a good player. He's also shooting like shit this year and is a turnover machine. No big deal. I like Caitlin Clark. I love watching her play. I also love watching Angel Reese play. I also love watching that new rookie Olivia Miles play. I also love watching the MVP Asia Wilson play. I love watching Paige Beckers play. I like the game. I like watching it. The young talent that is coming up in the NBA is fucking incredible. Stop propping her up. She's a good player. She hasn't won shit. She didn't win in college. She didn't win now in WNBA. Stop. She's good. She can get better. Just stop with this bullshit.
Baby, the mask always slips eventually. See, the media worked overtime trying to sell Caitlin Clark to all of us like she was the second coming of basketball. And it was like the NBA finally found this comfortable face that they could package up and market to the world about this is the WNBA. And even then, I was one of the few people that was like, nah, some about this don't sit right with me. And now y'all want to act shocked that she walked out with Morgan Wallen. Shocked for what? See, people tell you who they are all the time. Problem is, y'all keep giving soft spaces for racism and disrespect. When somebody benefits from the system, they rarely question it. Why would they? That's like expecting the casino to complain about the slot machine when the slot machine still makes sure they get paid. And then many of you keep mistaking marketing for morality. Just because somebody smile in your face don't mean they stand for you. A velvet glove can still hide.
Defense to come down and collapse leads to open 3 opportunities.
Bark nudged by Carrington. Carrington believes there.
Did you see? It's just a little small thing. She tried to draw a foul. There was no foul. And then you turn to the refs and yell and scream at them like they've done something wrong. This has been going on her entire career in the WNBA. I've been pointing it out. Her dad's been pointing it out. People that care about her have been pointing it out. Hey, Kate, love you to death, but control yourself. Find a better way to channel your energy. And I am sympathetic. I do think this is a mental health issue. The Caitlin cult, which I'm a part of, and I know many of you think I'm a sellout and you're upset that I'm saying this. Caitlin Clark behaves poorly on the court, and I'm sympathetic, but she clearly has some mental issues.
Caitlin Clark thing is over because she's not the best player in the WNBA. She's not the best guard in the WNBA. She's not even the best guard from her college class because that's Paige Beckers, who plays for Dallas, who beat them in the season opener. This could be a situation where we look back on Caitlin Clark, and we're not going to look back on her like she's Michael Jordan. She's Jeremy Lin. This is just Linsanity. She's going to fumble this, and it's because of 2 things. Who would have thought? She decided to roll up with Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen says the N-word liberally, says it more than I do, and I'm black, and her bitching and moaning to the refs nonstop. But when we look back on this, this girl had the world by the balls. She had everybody loving her. People who hate women's sports were tuning in just for her. And when we look at Jeremy Lin and look at her, we're going to find out that at the end of the day, it was the exact same thing.
Caitlin Clark is not the reason why everyone's watching the WNBA. The people that watch her don't actually watch the game. They don't turn a game on. They don't pay for a league pass. The type of fan base that she is bringing into the WNBA should not be welcomed. These people, like I said, are not paying for the games. They're not watching the games. They're watching highlights. Because if they actually watch the games, they would not be rooting for Caitlin Clark like they do. Because if they actually watch the WNBA, they would know that she's not the best guard. She's not the best player in the league. And they claim that she is, when that is just factually wrong. I can name 5 guards better than her. But let's get back to the point. She is a defensive liability. They would know that if they watched. They would know that she shoots 40 times a game like James Harden. And what else does she do like James Harden? Flops. And she cries. It's not a good look for the WNBA. I'm telling you. People stop watching the NBA because they got tired of this stuff. They don't.
Caitlin Clark fans are ruining the WNBA experience, and I'm getting so sick of it. The WNBA has historically been a more physical league than the NBA is now, because the NBA used to be the same way. There have been players that have gotten hard fouled in this league since its inception, and strangely, no one's had a problem with it until this freaking chick got into the WNBA. Every time she's touched, fouled, hard covered, anything, everyone acts as though a world war broke out. I am getting so sick of you fake WNBA fans that only care about the WNBA for the 24 hours after something happens with this chick, or the 24 hours past the time something happens to this chick. She is a flopper. She's a dirty player. She always throws a rock and hides her hand. But anytime anyone breathes on her, you have congressmen, radio personalities acting like she was assassinated. It's getting ridiculous. I'm sick of it. Those of us who actually enjoy the WNBA for the play, the players, etc., I wish she would just go to Europe and just get away from the WNBA, because the people who are speaking up about the abuse she's getting never even cared or watched the WNBA before she joined, and will not watch after something happens to her. She's been playing. She was hurt all last year. Never heard anything from any of these people. But they expect for her to be able to play in this league, do what she wants to do, never get fouled, never get touched, and she verbally abuses the refs on a nightly basis and never gets in trouble for it. There should not be a set of rules for her and another set of rules for anyone else, because this is getting ridiculous. I'm sick of it. Tired.
And Caitlin Clark, it's not what she's got to understand. It's not about the clapping. That's not why the T came. It's because the referees are like, where's the end of this crap? All we see are eye rolls and jeering from Caitlin Clark nonstop. And maybe in isolation, none of those activities are enough to call it technical. But in the aggregate, all compiled together, you just get worn out and you're like, screw you. Hey, I've had enough. Learn a little bit. That is what's going on. And I agree with the officials there. They got egos too.
Because she instigates resentment towards her sometimes. Oh, Caitlin could clap at you now. Yes. Caitlin can antagonize you now. The whole Angel Reese thing with her started because when Caitlin was giving it to everybody else, she was the one waving in their face. And that's why when Angel Reese and LSU got a hold of her, Angel Reese was like, yeah, it's your turn. That's where it came from. It was instigated by Caitlin Clark. She got her comeuppance, and she was big enough to embrace it and accept it and say, yo, I deserve it. It was my turn because they got me good. South Carolina didn't do it to them when they spanked Iowa in the championship game, but nevertheless, she comes to the WNBA, and you see a little shove here and there, you see her throwing a little elbow here and there, you see her talking.
But the problem is, Joe, this is not isolated. It's every night. She doesn't play defense. And she got some. Why are you trying to draw up a play offensively? Guard your man defensively. Bro, look, y'all know me. I've been on Caitlin and been in Caitlin Clark's corner. But enough is enough now. I'm tired of her behavior. I'm tired of the shoving. I'm tired of the elitists. I'm tired of the entitlement. Enough is enough. Play basketball.
Caitlin Clark cannot be the face of the WNBA strictly because she hasn't earned it. She hasn't won anything. In high school, 0 championships. College, 0 championships. She's been in the WNBA, hasn't won anything. Yes, she's a great three-point shooter. She's a great player. She's brought a lot of attention to the WNBA. Mainly, we've been honest, because she's white. But she's not the face of the WNBA. Now, A'ja Wilson, yes. Look what A'ja Wilson has earned. Look what she's accomplished in the WNBA. She is the best player, hands down, in the WNBA. That's the face of this shit. Not this girl. She's a great player. Definitely a great player. And she's brought a lot of attention. But she's not the face of it. Can't be. She ain't earned it yet. She got to earn it.
You gotta see this. From Republican Tim Burchett.
I think it's trashy. She gets the crap kicked out of her. I think the WNBA is an opportunity for women to take it to the next level, and I think she's an exceptional athlete, and she's being just abused.
Tim Burchett represents Knoxville, Tennessee. Same dude, by the way, who called Kamala Harris a DEI vice president. And look, MAGA has already shown that they are claiming Caitlin Clark as one of their own. This is just insanity. More from Burchett.
And, the WNBA doesn't even put her on their 30th year poster. I think something.
Ah, yes, another fake controversy. The WNBA is celebrating 30 years, and they made this graphic. Now, many conservatives and CC defenders would cry a foul, but the reason she was not on it is her own undoing, via sports reporter Darren Ravel. Other than Nike, Caitlin Clark allows licensees like Windcraft, who makes this, to only use her name and number, not her likeness. Thus, he would say, let's move on, because the disrespect card was fun for a day.
And they're going to lose. They're going to lose because some European league's going to pull her in, and they'll pay her, and she'll pull out, and they'll all be back flying.
Again, we talked about this with Norman Boomer Esiason when he said that she should go to the European leagues. They are more physical than the WNBA. And on this whole thing of, well, they're going to be flying coach if they keep roughing her up, meaning that she is the only reason the WNBA is successful, is blasphemous. Hear it from Sue Bird, actually.
In the WNBA playoffs, and we'll use the semifinals as the example, the WNBA playoff semifinal games where Caitlin obviously is not in it because her team lost are still breaking records from previous WNBA years, are still cracking 1 million viewers. I believe the record was at like 930,000 overall viewership, but it got up to like it peaked at like 1 point something. So these numbers are still really high, and they're still really meaningful, and they still show and tell a story of the viewership that is being gained in the WNBA.
But does MAGA care? No. Does Burchett care? No. Here he is once more.
It is a physical game, but it's not supposed to be a wrestling match.
Do you think people are just paying more attention to her getting hurt because she's such a star?
No, I just think I think she's being abused.
I'm glad the interviewer asked that question, because a simple follow-up would be, name 4 other players on the Fever. Heck, name 5 WNBA players, if you possibly could. What this discourse has shown, once more, is they don't care about the league. They don't care about the players. All they care about is her, by any means necessary, with any defense, as you saw from Benny Johnson.
I've been on the internet for a while, right? Deep into fandom, and I am now getting into women's basketball. Never in all my years on Beyonce's internet have I seen a fan base as delusional and racist as Caitlin Clark. The way those motherfuckers talk about Angel Reese, I'm not even kidding you, I don't think Morgan Wallen fans are that bad. I saw a video of Caitlin brutally shoving Angel Reese to the ground during a game. Angel gets up, obviously she's pissed, and fucking Caitlin Clark's teammate, grabs her. Caitlin is just walking away. All the fucking comments are like, yeah, Caitlin doesn't want to deal with the drama. She just fucking she just sent that bitch fucking flying. And Caitlin Clark herself, I'm sorry, I really did not think that you could be in the WNBA and give MAGA energy, but there she is. And her fucking temper tantrums on the court, she seems so fucking entitled. It's insane. I have been on Paige Becker's TikTok, right? And then I go over to Caitlin Clark TikTok. What the fuck is wrong with you people? And the fact that she's not telling people to stop treating Angel like that, or talking about her like that, I really think there's something fucking up with the people that are supporting her. I think there's an ulterior motive there. There's so many WNBA players that don't fucking suck as people like that. Love Angel, support Angel, but I pray to God that my For You page will keep me on Dallas Wings TikTok, because that's just fun over there,
Oh, the WNBA? Let's talk about a very noticeable pattern here. Alyssa Thomas gets suspended after making contact with Cece's throat. Okay, league reviews it. They've made their decision. Questionable, but it is what it is. Earlier in that same game, Aaliyah Boston catches Kyle Copper in the throat with one of those swinging elbows that she's notorious for and gets away with. Where is the outrage? Where are the think pieces? Where are the headlines? Why isn't the WNBA saying something about that? I thought throat contact was an issue at this point now. Oh, what about when this happened? Oh wait, what about when AT did this to Angel? That's what's interesting here. This isn't just about one play. It's about a media ecosystem that keeps recreating the same narrative around a specific type of situation. We saw it with Angel Reese during the NCAA championships, which, as a reminder, is the reason CC is a household name. She was known in the basketball space, sure, but she was not superstar level status, household name status, no. Not until the media decided to turn the situation with Angel Reese, who already had millions of followers, by the way, she turned that into a race thing that so many people fell for. Look at this innocent white girl versus these black villains. And it confirmed a lot of y'all's bias, which is why you fell for it. And we're seeing it again now. CC gets cast as this innocent white superstar everyone is supposedly jealous of, while black women who built this league, by the way, get turned into the villains of her story. And the WNBA supports that. The media supports that. That's exactly why the Larry Bird comparisons have never sat right with me, because people compare CC to Larry Bird simply because they're both white stars in a predominantly black league. But historically, Bird handled that dynamic very differently. I'm not about to sit here and lie and say Bird was some anti-racist activist. He wasn't giving speeches about racial justice or leading social movements, but he also didn't embrace being America's great white hope. That's the difference. In fact, he rejected it. So that's for all those people who are like, oh, you just want CC to be an activist. No. But he repeatedly said basketball was a black man's sport. He hated the idea that his success was being used to diminish black players or create racial division, and it overshadowed his game. And when racial narratives threatened to spiral, he shut them down. The best example is in 1987, Isaiah Thomas made headlines after saying Bird got extra praise because he's white, which arguably is true, and the media immediately turned that into a racial firestorm. Bird could have leaned into that, and he didn't. Instead, he and Isaiah Thomas held a joint press conference to cool everything down and move the conversation back to the game. He refused to become the face of a racial grievance narrative. That's the big difference here. The racial storyline existed around Larry Bird because the media wanted it to exist. Today, the racial storyline around Caitlin Clark is constantly reinforced by the media, by her teammates, by the league. Every hard foul becomes proof that the league is targeting her. Every rivalry becomes evidence that black players are jealous. Every criticism gets reframed into, why does everyone hate Caitlin Clark? Oh, it's because she's white. Anytime someone plays good defense on her, it's like, oh my God, look at them targeting her. And instead of those narratives being consistently shut down, they just continue to grow. I want to add another big difference between Bird and CC is Bird played defense. He was named to the NBA All-Defensive Second Team 3 consecutive times. I don't see that happening to old girl anytime soon. And if you disagree, you don't watch the games clearly. And before you're like, well, he played a different position. Okay, and you constantly compare CC to Angel and a bunch of other players who do not play her position. But I guess nuance only matters when we're talking about your great white hope. That's white privilege. Meanwhile, AT is one of the greatest players this league has ever seen. She holds the all-time WNBA record for career triple-doubles. She owns the single-season record. She changed what a point forward could be in professional basketball. She also currently leads the WNBA in assists right now, and CC still averages almost double the amount of turnovers as AT. Yet somehow the biggest story on her resume right now is whether or not she can be cast as the latest villain in the Caitlin Clark story. When the media decides that there's a great white hope, every conflict gets filtered through that lens. Because again, all of this is rooted in racism. Black athletes become aggressors, white athletes are victims, all nuance disappears when it comes to defending the white folks. Even fouls are called assaults, and people talking about they need to go to jail, it needs to be carceral. That's not what y'all say about Sophie Cunningham, though. Notice the racially charged language used against black women? White privilege. Larry Bird didn't ask to be America's great white hope, and when race threatened to overshadow the game, he publicly helped de-escalate it. That's part of his legacy. And CC has repeatedly shown that she's fine with racism over and over and over, whilst being an absolute crybaby every game nowadays, despite clearly getting preferential treatment, as a pattern. A lot of y'all, this is just rooted in your hatred of black women and a desire to see them put in their place. Full stop.
Caitlin Clark takes the fun out of basketball. She really does. She just takes the air out of the room. She ruins the vibe, and it's just not fun. I want to watch the Fever because I like Kelsey Mitchell and I like Aaliyah Boston. I really do. And then you have stuff like this. She's being sarcastic, putting her hands up, cheering to the crowd that she finally got a foul call. Oh, poor Caitlin Clark, you didn't get a foul called on you because you're throwing your head around anytime somebody gets close to you. Somebody's kind of checking you out at the three-point line, playing tough D, and if they touch you at all, it's, oh. What are we doing? It's like insufferable watching her play basketball these days. I can't stand it. Stop complaining to the refs. You are so entitled. It's insane. Stop acting like you deserve every single call and every little thing. It's wild. It's wild. I don't know how people are like, yeah, that's my favorite basketball player. She is just...
Alyssa Thomas didn't do anything wrong. She's playing ball. They're aggressive. They're competitive. Y'all fools that use Caitlin Clark to spew your agenda should be ashamed of yourself. This is not some angel. Just like how, oh my God, what are they doing to Caitlin Clark? Do you see how she talks to her teammates, how she talks to her coaches? She ain't no angel. No pun intended. But the thing is, though, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, the men out here be like, oh, women be emotional, all this stuff. Y'all are more emotional. They're hooping. They're being competitive. Like, oh, but because you need likes, because you can't create engaging original content, you gotta say, this is our George Floyd moment. You should be damn ashamed of yourself. Ashamed of yourself. And it's nothing wrong with this stuff. You ain't see somebody do a Draymond Green and kick somebody in the private part. You ain't see that.
That time of the year again, where Caitlin Clark gets fouled hard and everybody has a shitstorm about it. Like there's some conspiracy for all of the women in the WNBA out to get Caitlin Clark. All you hearing is people say, oh, they're all jealous of her. Then you got people saying, why would you hurt the cash cow of the WNBA? She's the biggest star. She's driving the league. How about Alyssa Thomas is like that? I think people forget 2 years ago, she fouled Angel Reese like 4 possessions in a row. And on the 4th one, caught her with a clothesline, WWE style, and got ejected from the game. She has smoke for anybody and everybody. Black, white, lesbian, straight, it does not matter to Alyssa Thomas. How about these women in the WNBA are real athletes and they love playing ball and they play hard as hell. And some teams got goons that will touch you up no matter what your situation is. So we got to stop every time Caitlin Clark gets knocked upside the head. They all get knocked upside the head. There's no conspiracy here. This is like clockwork every single year. Can we stop?